Recorded live. Every time I hear it, it still gives me the willies.
Why the willies?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know, because there's no going back once you hit the button.
There is going back. There is always an edit button.
Well, I could edit it, but I choose not to because I'm lazy.
I thought you were just artistic.
Well, that's a cop-out. Anyway, welcome to I think this is the... This is the, fifth episode of the HorrorQuest Podcast. Going strong, number 5. I'm looking forward to when we get into the teens.
Teens?
That I guess that kind of, that's the hump, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess when you get over 50, that's the major hump. But number 10, I think, that's our first target. But
okay.
Anyway, I'm Joe, and with me is, of course, the man, the legend, Cash Money Millionaire.
Hello.
Yes. Look at you tonight in your little shirt.
You look at my shirt.
You're very dressed up for a podcast. Nobody can see you.
Listen, can I tell you this?
And look at your watch.
I'm not dressed up. No. I'm not dressed up for the podcast.
For me?
No. You should always dress.
Not my mother.
Not your mother. Not you.
Yeah.
You should always dress for success everywhere you go.
Well,
you could always meet the girl of your dreams. You could always meet,
But you never talk to girls.
I talk to girls all the time.
At your gym, but not in real life.
I talk to girls all the time. All the time.
Anyway, forget it. This is not why we're here. Anyway, if you guys have been following the show and stuff like that, you know that the HorrorQuest Film Festival is going on right now. It's been going very well, I must say, Mr. Cash Money.
That's good.
Having a good number of people out, but we're not going to talk about that today because we're going to save that for the wrap-up show and the awards show, giving out awards.
That's good.
Excited about that?
I'm sure.
I'm excited. But anyway, today we have a guest, somebody who I've been excited to talk to because I enjoyed his movie quite a bit. And that is the director of Rage. Christopher, what is your last name again?
Witherspoon.
Christopher Witherspoon. Now, I really liked Rage, and we went over it a lot during the first episode. You should feel honored, Christopher. We talked about your movie for like the whole first episode of the HorrorQuest because we liked it so much. Yeah.
Can I still find that on the on your podcast archive?
Yeah, it should be the first show. It was when it first went up. It was actually labeled Rage, but then we changed it to just HorrorQuest. So, but yeah, that's the very first episode, and I was looking forward to getting Christopher on because out of all the movies that we had, his was definitely one of my favorites.
I enjoyed it
because because unlike some of the other ones, his was kind of different. Like most of them, I think we talked about this earlier today, that most kind of modern day kind of horror movies, it kind of follows that same, there's some kids and they're in the car and they break down or whatever, and then they're sitting around the campfire. Yeah, exactly. But Rage is a little bit different. Yeah. And but just to get a little background on you, Christopher, how did you get started? Did you always want to be a filmmaker, or was it how did you get started?
Definitely. Well, and first of all, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it, and I am honored that you guys have been talking about the film. I appreciate it. Anybody who shows me and the crew some love, we certainly appreciate it. I've been involved in the film business for quite some time, off and on. I started out working in effects, actually. I worked for a guy, John Beekler, who ran a company called MMI back in the day, where actually people like Howard Berger and Bob Kurtzman, who went on to do K&B Effects company.
Oh, yeah.
We all started out there. We did films like Reanimator, Troll, Ghoulies.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
A lot of that stuff. And I can't believe they paid us to do it. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of teenagers, getting to make nice paychecks, playing in clay, and it was a great time. But that's how I got started in the effects business. And then after that, I decided I wanted to work more in production because as a kid, I made my little Super 8 movies and VHS movies. And so eventually I went back into working in production, and I worked for this guy, Sandy Howard, who was a pretty well-known producer in Hollywood. And he, I learned a lot from him. And I ended up getting, it was a good way to work in every department, learn every department, whether it was post-production, actual production, the grip department, lighting department, all of that stuff. I spent, several years doing that. And then branched out from that to music videos. I did music videos for a little while, and ended up in Portland, Oregon with a children's television show that a week before we were supposed to start shooting, it got the axe. So that's how I ended up in Portland, Oregon, and 3 kids later. But that's kind of was, and then ultimately I got the bug again, and I made my first film, which is called Middleman. Do very much. And then ultimately, after a while, I decided that I wanted to, make another film, and that was Rage. Mm-hmm.
Now, was your first one, was that an actual feature, or was it a short?
Yeah, it was a feature. It was a feature, but, it's kind of, it was like we made it for $3.10. And it actually got to play in London and a couple other places in Europe. I played locally, not locally, it played in California down at a Pan-African festival thing. And that was it. And then after, I just never was really happy with the film, and I basically funded it, so I said I can shelf it, and I did. So only like a handful of people have ever seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds kind of. Now, did you literally make it for $3.50, or was that like an exaggeration?
I think it was exaggeration.
Well, there are some people who really like it, but I'm very critical of my own stuff, and I'm sure you guys understand that you see all the flaws, you see, and it's just kind of hard for me to watch. So,
right.
But people tend to seem to like it, but I just, it was kind of one of those things where, got together a group of film students and, fans of film, and we kind of just took a really interesting approach to making it, and it looks like it. So,
yeah.
But anyhow, it's shelved. Maybe one day I'll pull it down and show it to people. We'll see.
You should put it on because you said it's a feature. I was about to say you could put it like as like special features on the Rage DVD.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, this would be that is. I like that.
But anyway, so I was thinking Rage was your first film, so I was kind of interested to find out that it wasn't.
No.
Now, how much are you willing to talk about Rage? Is there without giving away too much. There's only a few things in there I'd feel, I don't mind talking about, like things like the rape scene, which is a scene that, some people has gotten, some interesting responses. But no, everything's fair game. If there's a spoiler alert, we'll just say a spoiler alert. And well, we definitely won't give away the ending of the movie. But,
right.
But I was kind of wondering like what the budget was. I didn't know because I don't know
I'm not going to give an exact budget because I don't want to mess myself over with any potential distributors, which we're talking to now, actually.
Right.
So I think I'll pass on that one.
So Rage doesn't have distribution yet.
No. We've been talking to people, right? We've been talking to people for like the last year because we've been on the film festival circuit. But it's like it's just like dating a girl. You got to get the right one because you don't want to get screwed over. Wake up and your money's gone from your wallet, that kind of a thing. And there's some really bad distribution companies out there, but But before the end of the year, I think we'll tie up a deal with somebody.
Well, that's one thing that I've been like really happy to hear, especially like with the stuff we've been showing at HorrorQuest, that it seems like almost everybody is like getting distribution for their movies just about. Right. So I kind of feel like it's that I wouldn't say it's this with Rage, but a few other films that were going to be have their premiere at HorrorQuest. Mm-hmm. It's like right after they got in, it was like 2 weeks later they get picked up for distribution and stuff like that.
Right.
So it kind of makes me feel good every time I hear that distribution is around the corner. So
Like Jason Daly, he's a guy there.
Yeah.
Film Beware, and I talked to Jason pretty much on just through Facebook, but our films have been at a lot of the same festivals, and I just caught his film on Comcast, which is the cable network down here, and he's a lot of, because the reality is that the best material, and I think you guys will agree, Hollywood is not turning out a lot of good product.
That's very true.
The most interesting stuff is indie films.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see.
Well, they.